What is going on, guys? Warming stuff done, kind of a little bit of innovation, a little bit of mobility, and everything feels heavy. I've been gobbing off all morning about the fact that I just feel tired. Haven't I, Danny?
Yeah, tremendously.
Tremendously gobbing off. And I'm supposed to do 160 on the bar for deadlifts, 95 on the bar for bench, 10 to 1. And I've gone up to deadlifting 150, and it is moving slowly in deadlifts because obviously it is very, very technical, but because it's a purely kind of concentric movement, a lot rawer than others, I think it's personally, my personal opinion on this is it's a really, really good indicator as to how your body's doing and whether or not you're kind of carrying a bit of extra fatigue. And everything feels battered and everything feels heavy, so much so that I'm warming up and being like, A, I'm gonna have to change what I'm doing in a session, and B, I'm also gonna have to go get a massage later, which is what I'm gonna do because I'm falling apart, held together by blue tack. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep 150 on the bench, and I'm gonna do some power reps for 5, so a little bit lighter, and then I'm gonna do some push press into strict press. I'll do that at 60-ish, and I'll do like 5 reps on strict, and then into push, a little bit of snap, and then I'll do some rope climb work. So a little bit of lower body, a little bit of push, a little bit of pull, and I'll do probably 4 or 5 rounds of that. Again, attempting to keep the rest fairly low to mimic the 10 to 1 that I was supposed to be doing, so at least it's kind of as close as possible, but a little bit more break between each exposure because I'm now doing 3 exercises instead of 2. So again, everything that's in this part of the program now has an objective. I'll do 4 or 5 rounds of that, and then I will do the standard burpees, press-ups, kettlebell swings, lunges or prowler push, and assault bike finisher that I've been doing beforehand. So 4 or 5 rounds of this, and then we'll get cracking with the slightly more aerobic component. And that is the power stuff done. Not feeling particularly snappy or powerful today, I have to be honest, especially with the deadlifts, man. They just felt flipping so heavy. So maybe I took a little bit more out of my lower body than I thought with my runs yesterday, and just generally maybe the accumulation of kind of fatigue this week. We have hit it pretty hard, done some strongman conditioning stuff a couple of days ago, and this is kind of the 5th day. We haven't had a rest day, have we? No, it's the 5th day on the bounce. And that bit's done. Going to move into a little bit more kind of high rep muscle perfusion, or tissue perfusion I should say, kind of work now, just getting a bit of blood pumping. So either some body weight or lightly resisted press ups for 25, some bicep curls for 25, and then some light kind of heel elevated goblet sissy squats for 25, and a couple of rounds of that. So 25 is a good number because regardless of the fact that it's moderately aerobic, or mildly aerobic I should say, hopefully it won't be moderately, it kind of gets a bit of a pump on, and that's just really good for generally flushing everything through, getting rid of toxins, breaking down a little bit of scar tissue, and getting a bit of growth hormone release as well. So we'll crack on with that stuff imminently. And good morning, it is a new week. It feels like 5 a.m. It's not, it's 8:45. How you feeling, Danny, with the drone?
Locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded. So, new week, we are off to Tenerife top training again, up to T3. Once again, thank you T3 for having us. And lower body session today. My knee has been a bit of a nightmare. Calves aren't too bad at the moment, but I've been prevented from kind of doing my lower body sessions properly. So Fergus from Omnium Performance has tweaked a few things within the lower body session. So we shall see how we get on with that. But we're going there a little bit earlier today, a little bit cloudy, which is a good thing. So hopefully it's just going to be slightly cooler and we're not going to burn alive. But we'll be there in 10 minutes to see how we get on. And it definitely worked. It is nowhere near as hot as it was when we were here last time, and it literally just binned both Danny and myself. So I'm going to crack on with the lower body session in a minute. It starts with some deadlifts in the form of kind of a little EMOM, power focus, so 140, but really focus on speed. And then what we are going to do is move on to a couple of split squats and then a couple of other bits and bobs. Main compound lift, unilateral hip extension. As long as you have those three components in a leg session, you are normally golden. So we'll crack on with that in a minute. A few more kind of mobility and innovation bits, and then let's go. What's going on, team? That's the strength component done. So we've done our deadlifts in the form of an EMOM, kind of trying to go for power, speed and execution. Then done our split squats. We've done some RDLs, some kind of high pulls, RDL into high pull, and then some hamstring work. So 3 kind of posterior chain hamstring exercises on the bounce. Now we're gonna go into some running, and kind of as my inauguration into hybrid training is still kind of in the mix, I'm interested to see how I go like runs for quality, try to go for technique with a little bit of fatigue in my legs. So this is not particularly common within hybrid training, from my understanding, to kind of mix these modalities in the same session, but we'll see how we get on. I'm sure there is kind of value in developing the ability to maybe change my mechanics a little bit based on how my legs feel. But guys, the strength session there, like those high pulls at 100, I should be doing that with about 130, 140. But my God, the heat just takes out of you. We got here early today, we got here just before 9, it's now 10:30, but everything just feels difficult. Like, you just don't really feel fully recovered, you're just not firing all cylinders. Aerobically, I think I feel kind of okay, but anything, I was just saying to Danny a second ago, with any like execution of power, she's waving at me, any kind of execution of power is just flipping difficult. So I've got some 300-400 meter reps in a second. We'll pack this stuff away from this incredible facility, get out onto the track, which is only about 100 meters behind me, and then get cracking with some of those. But there is no shade and no reprieve as it is an athletics track. So we'll see how we get on with those. Right, well that's another day of training in the bag, and it is 11:07. It's the earliest we've finished, I think, because we are on holiday and we might be having a sangria in the evening and enjoying our time somewhat, so training a little bit later. But today is just one, it was literally the track session we did here that you've seen earlier in the vlog, which was a couple of days ago for us, was just so hot and it flipping baked me that it made me realise straight away we need to, if there's any track stuff, we need to get it done earlier, because I was a bit heat strokey for the rest of the day. So back, food, calls, got my Endeavour calls this afternoon. One more session, which will be an upper body session tomorrow, and that is then going to be the holiday, and we fly back Wednesday morning, which has been awesome. And it's, you know, it's been wicked when you feel refreshed, but you've had adventures, and it feels like kind of the perfect amount of time that you've enjoyed, and you're kind of ready to get, like, you've enjoyed the time here and you're looking forward to getting home. I think that's a good indicator. It's the perfect little getaway. And obviously we've been to a couple of different places. We've been to CrossFit Tenerife 27 Tenerife, which is enormous CrossFit box. But I do have to say, I think out of the two of them, between that one and here at Tenerife Top Training at T3 just pips it for me as one of the best facilities I think I've ever been to. The only downside, again, is the fact that the functional fitness area, the place that I'd like to train, is outdoors and it is flipping boiling. But if you can get here early, then, you know, or another time of the year other than the flipping middle of June, then yeah, I think it would be absolutely amazing. So I've loved it so far. one more session tomorrow. Not sure which gym we're going to go to yet. We'll see how we feel tomorrow. Who knows? Who knows? See them. Clearest day we have had here at T3. My hat is about to blow off because it's incredibly windy, so I hope you can hear me. But it is absolutely stunning. It just seems to have been this thing where the haze is just lifted. So we fly back tomorrow lunchtime. Camera in hand, obviously, tripod. We're ready to go. One final session, a little bit of upper body. We'll see how we get on with the last one. I'm a little bit jealous and disappointed that we never got to indulge in the beach volleyball. However, next time, Tenerife Top Training T3, you have been absolutely beautiful with allowing us to be here. I think I may well just come back, but for now, it's time for bench. So we are here in the indoor gym at T3. Obviously we've been outdoors in the CrossFit box and out the window that you can kind of see, which is the track. Initially looks pretty old school in here in terms of the flooring and everything, but you come in, it's actually got some unreal equipment. It's got like the Techno Gym kind of curve runner with all the different like resistance settings, so it can either just be kind of a curve runner treadmill, or you can use it as like a sled push. It's got an assault bike just over my shoulder there, and some of the resistance kit. It's got a bench row. It's got Danny waving, and again, as I mentioned a minute ago, we are going to be doing some upper body stuff on the benches. It's got some decent racks, and one of the things, I think I've mentioned this in a couple of my videos before, one of my favourite little tips before you do some big heavy push, and I'm going up to 120 for a couple today, hopefully, we'll see, is basically to do some pull work first, almost as a little bit of a primer. And I just find it kind of, you do some shoulder mobility work. Obviously the shoulder is a joint, ball and socket joint, like the hip, but compared to the hip, it has loads of mobility and not much stability. So do some kind of mobility work, just stretch everything out anyway. And stability wise, I like to do some pull stuff first, just to prime my lats, and I feel as though it just pulls everything in the shoulder girdle into the right position, which then means that my heavy push movements are far more kind of effective and efficient because everything is locked in the right position. So we're doing a little bit of pull work now, which you're about to see, and then we'll be getting on to some heavy bench. Let's go. First bit of the upper body session done. That is the bench. That's the chunky section. 3 sets of 2 reps and 120. That did feel heavy. And then max reps on 110 and got 6, which is okay. Kind of hips are coming off the bench, I think, a tiny little bit. Overall, and I'll keep saying this throughout this flipping vlog, but the heat really just has whacked me. I mean, it's not particularly air conditioning here, actually, and you can tell the natives are just absolutely fine with it. For me, it's just kicking my ass, and I thought this would be a bit of a reprieve because this is the first time we've had a session since we've been here in Tenerife. There's kind of, that I predicted would be in a little bit more of an air-conditioned place. And there is a bit of aircon, but it's just not particularly effective. But maybe that's just an excuse. Who knows? But now onto some other stuff, onto some overhead, and onto then some dumbbell incline bench with some rows. So basically this is just, full upper body, loads of push, loads of pull. And then there's a little bit of like kind of pseudo conditioning work at the end, and the way that Fergus has basically kind of gone for the progressive overload component here is the particular EMOM that you'll be seeing later. I've been doing that for the last kind of like 4 weeks, and this is effectively all they keep doing is chunking on a little bit more time. So the workout is exactly the same, which I'll show you later, but it was 10 minutes, then 12, then 14, now it's 16 minutes this week. And that's fine, that seems to be kind of okay for me. So that bit shouldn't be too bad, even in the heat. It is just the strength and power aspect seems to be the bit that's a little bit challenging. But bench is done, that's the good bit, that's the bit I was worried about. I didn't even know if we'd be able to do 120 for 2, even though 130 for 2 or 3 felt kind of okay a couple of weeks ago. The heat again has killed me. So onto overhead now, and then onto a little cheeky push-pull superset. Overhead and push-pull superset done. Happy with that. Couldn't do incline, couldn't do dumbbell bench, basically because the dumbbells only went up to 32, and that wouldn't be enough for me for benching. It was barely enough for me on the row, so I did 80 on incline bench press, which again felt hard actually, man. Everything just feels heavy. A little bit heavy, a little bit slower, but we're on to an EMOM now, and the EMOM is 1 burpee, followed by 3 pull-ups, followed by 5 press-ups. And I've amended this every single week I've done it. And added more and almost doubled the volume. But I'm going to keep it as it is and really try and focus on super explosive movements, like controlled eccentrics and then snap. So almost have like get a little bit of a functional bodybuilding effect, a little bit of controlled eccentric tempo in the form of an EMOM. It might be heavier than I think because even holding the camera, holding you beautiful people right now is feeling heavy. And again, it was 10 minutes, then 12, then 14, and this week it's 16. So let's see how we get out. And there we have it, the 16-minute EMOM done. Definitely felt harder than I was expecting. In a weird way, it was annoying that I had as much kind of rest as I did. Because maybe kind of feel strangely, I don't know really, like lethargic somewhat. But that is done, and our last session in Tenerife, here at Tenerife Top Training, T3 in the bag. What a flipping awesome 9-10 days it's been, right? I hope you've enjoyed us documenting it as much as we've enjoyed training here. The track's awesome, the outdoor CrossFit gym is awesome. This bit actually, although again it kind of looks a little bit old school, a little bit Soviet, there's some phenomenal equipment in here actually, super specialist stuff, which I'm a huge fan of. So there's an assault course outside which we didn't get to try, lots of other stuff which we didn't get to try, which is a shame. But overall everything we have seen is incredible. The swimming pool's amazing. I think if you are coming to Tenerife and you take your training seriously, this is 100% where you need to come and visit, because it just cages for you in every single way. So, quick mango shake for us, but I'm going to end it there so I can enjoy the last evening of this trip and decompress a little bit and get editing on this particular video for you. But I hope you did enjoy this, guys. Any questions on anything, any kind of like tips or help you need with where to go, or different things you're interested in Tenerife, and you're wondering whether or not we've done it, just put it down in the comment section below. Please do subscribe, please do like, please share this video. The way that we grow as a young channel, if you have enjoyed this and you've got to this stage in this video, is by you sharing it with someone just like you, that will get as much value and entertainment and education from it as you did. As always, beautiful people, stay strong, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will see you guys when I'm back in the UK. See you soon.